Hey everybody, give us just a moment here while we're getting set up from a technical standpoint. I need to do a little Discord capture. We're going to have a single channel set up, which is going to have the runners as well as Ed, and good old Jimmy Diamonds, joining us here. Well, hold on a second. You're not in yet. Stand by. Stand by.
Just tones of me at 1 a.m., 10 past 1 in the morning.
There. Now we got you. You're in.
Mostly asleep. Hey, Diggity.
You're in. Okay, so I'm going to turn down Dagron's capture a little bit so it's not so loud. And now we should be golden if I minimize that. So, Coops, can you confirm, as my designated tester here, can you hear game audio from Dagron? Can you hear me? And can you hear the runners and Ed? Sounds like we got a winner there.
Talk though.
Yeah, exactly.
Cypherin here. Test.
Yep.
This is GrimShins test.
What's up?
Ed.
You're just being like Pokemon and just repeating our names.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Ed, really appreciate you taking the time, and this is a lot of fun to have your participation in this. And this is a notorious game in the running community. Notorious. The one level in particular that I know you and Jimmy were trading some barbs on Twitter about. But what you've got here is you've got just some real top quality talent here running the game, and we'll be doing some showing off of that and of course we've got Dagron too. I mean,
Brutal.
Yeah, but again, I'm No Diggity One. Jimmy, go ahead.
I am, of course, Jimmy Diamonds, resident idiot, but also kind of a Chakan. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm just here to have a good time. Speedrunner. Chakan, righto. Chakan. Yeah. Let's speak to Rack.
Don't listen to the guy who invented the character.
Okay, very
He doesn't know how to say the name.
We can't speak to Rack in this one, so we have to go with your one, which is Chakan. Yes. Not Jackademus and Pliers, not Chakan, right. But Chakan. Right. We'll roll with that one. Lovely stuff.
Tomato.
I think the actual guy who created this character, what's he pronounced it as? Chakan? I don't know.
Shaken? Like shaken bake?
Chakan, not stirred.
Shaken Stevens for the British people.
Well, that won't work because it's harder to scream when you fall through the platforms on Elemental Fire. So I can't do Chakan. I gotta do Chaka.
Yeah, just don't overpronounce the wrong syllable, right?
Right.
But we are, of course, here not only with the amazing No Diggity, not only with the amazing Cypherin, GrimShins, and world record holder Dagron, but the legendary ED-A-THON Annunziata himself, Ed. It's an absolute privilege and an honor.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you for joining us in this ridiculous endeavor that we're going to be having over the next potentially half an hour, watching these three ridiculous human beings have a ridiculous time with this not so ridiculous game. It's going to be a great time.
All right, looking forward to it.
Yeah. What's your experience with Chakan, pronounce it right, speedrunning so far?
Me? I don't have any experience. I watched one guy, and he could be here right now. And I was absolutely blown away. And I left comments. Yes, I just couldn't even believe it. And then after that, seeing that, I Googled speed run, and then I got to understand a little more about what's going on here.
That's exactly
and then
what
you ran into echo runs, and got to know some new runners.
Yeah, I felt how slippery the slope was, so I kind of backed off a little bit. But this looks like it might be fun to watch. I didn't know what I was getting into. Sega logo turns red.
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
As I recall, that was explicitly against Sega's standards and practices at the time.
Well, the way it was originally, you turn on the Genesis and it was blood red. And they said, no, you cannot do that. Okay, so it starts blue and then turns red.
with the utterly iconic scream at the same time, just to top it off with that beautiful cherry onto the red logo. Gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous stuff. But I believe you are right, Ed. I believe that the run in question is our amazing Dagron. Yeah, that run, I believe I've seen your comment on your YouTube comment on his run there, and that run itself is, it's something else. And basically,
it looked so easy. That was what was stunning about it.
Yeah, and then though the main tricks of the run are relatively well known, Dagron has basically been the one person to root this game from top to bottom. How many times over now, Dag?
Gosh, it's probably been at least about 10 different times, and I still keep finding new things.
I know, it's ridiculous. Didn't you find like a new route yesterday or something?
Yeah, I did. And then I found some other thing. I found a way to not take damage to the Dragonfly King, which has been my arch nemesis for the longest time. The longest time I've always needed that. Yes, there is a way to avoid damage. I can't guarantee I'm going to pull it off because it's still really precise. My positioning has to be like it's almost like a dance, if you will, with the boss. It's just key precision positioning. Anyways. So
we're going to be potentially seeing a Dancing with the Dragonfly today. That'd be gorgeous.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so how do we want to get this started?
I think we can. I think we just go ahead and do this since we're all on the same audio channel. I don't think we even need to worry about doing a Twitch chat thing. We can just do a countdown. So is everybody ready?
Wait a minute. Wait, shouldn't I say go?
You should absolutely be the one. I want to make sure everybody's prepared, ready to go, and then we're turning it over to you, Ed.
Okay.
Totally appropriate.
Is everybody
All
ready?
Right, just say go when you want me to say go.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Up.
I'm ready.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Go. I say go.
And there we start straight away. Cypherin top left, GrimShins top right, Dagron in the bottom. Tiny Hope Village, get your donations in. Gorgeous stuff. Cypherin with the Santa Claus Chakan. GrimShins with the double jumps all the way up to the top right. And Dagron only a split second behind, likely due to the lag. Lovely double jumps here from Cypherin. Very, very Shinobi-esque and making full use of the infinite jump. We've got to be really careful with those drops, so good gravy, O'Reilly. But as we see, there's a significant difference in the route there. Cypherin going with the tried and tested route. GrimShins and Dagron using the same route in... Yeah, falling over my own head in terrestrial fire. So Cypherin, why have you gone into terrestrial air instead of terrestrial fire like the other two chums?
Oh, because I don't know the route like they do.
Yeah.
They've been more, revising the route and stuff, and I'm just like, I'll go with the flow, whatever the fingers tell me to do.
Just like Chakan in that red outfit is, it's a stunning look there. Dagron picking up the scythe first weapon to grab hold of. Probably use a couple of times during the game, not as many as the other weapons, but they're going straight back in. Terrestrial fire.
Yeah, and if I can say shout outs to Bacon Omelet. Bacon Omelet is the one that made this red suit possible here. So shout outs to Bacon Omelet in the chat here. He made a mod for it.
Proper shout outs to Bacon Omelet. What a legendary human being that man is.
Ah, damn. First death, fellas.
Wait.
No. First death.
How do I get the red Chakan suit?
You said, how do you get it?
Bacon, we're gonna need you to go into Discord and hook him up.
Yeah, hook him up.
Give Ed the hookup.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, I don't remember that. Oh, crap, I'm getting old.
Look at this utter consistency from Dagron, triggering the lightning swords. Take on the first boss. Just goes down like nothing. Dagron with a good lead being built up there. GrimShins having a bit of an issue. Making sure those double jumps get good.
I've lost my ability to count.
That's okay. You can keep it going. We see Dagron moving on to terrestrial water. Lots and lots of potion getting in this stage using the new route.
Oops, fell in the water.
This game looks
Tiny
great.
Well known for being a very, very tough game, particularly casually. The speedrun does actually take a lot of the concern out of it as well, especially when you're using the incredible infinite jump tech, which one of the runners try and describe how the infinite jump works.
I guess I'll describe it. So what's going on with the IDJ, as we call it? We're alternating between jump and attack. And I'm actually getting pretty close to dying here.
So
It's a certain timing to the IDJ.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was
But
like...
it's programmed that way. It has nothing to do with this emulator. You just could do that. You could do that with a controller on a real Genesis.
Oh yeah, we're
almost
doing
every
this.
runner runs on console.
Oops.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting cramps in my fingers right now doing it.
Dagron picking up the next weapon. GrimShins on the third stage.
Still second.
Are you
stage.
still second? Oh my golly gosh. Sorry, my apologies.
I've been having some issues with the timing.
You'll also notice that Dagron there is putting out another little strat in the game. With the roll maneuver that you're going to see Dagron Chakan do, if you roll at just the right time and then double jump out of the roll.
I screwed up the easy part.
Really, Grim. Really, come on, Grim. Get good, bruh. But you'll notice that Dagron
Have we figured out what causes that collision issue? Or is that just
Sometimes it happens. I'm assuming you died from the final fall right before the end.
Yep.
yeah. It happens to me too from time to time. I'd like to think it's because you don't have enough forward momentum or something. That's my guess.
Just somebody
Cypherin.
somebody get the hospital on the phone because we got a choking victim right here.
I got up there and I fell.
Dagron making good use of this weird weapon. I can never remember what this weapon is called, but it allows him to grab onto little handholds in the environment.
It's a grapple hook.
It's like a grapple hook.
I call it the grapple hook. It's probably something else.
We'll call it the grapple. We'll go with the
like
grapple
an iron
then.
palm tree.
Oh my god, I'm showing everything that can go wrong with this strategy.
Oh no, Grim. Oh no. You were two moments away from the end of the stage.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh lord.
But yeah, Dagron building up a commanding lead here, really showing his so much experience with this game in comparison to the other two runners. That's not to say that Grim and Cypherin aren't very good at this game. They are very, very good at this game. As you can see, they are certainly being able to pull off all these tricks. And Cypherin trying to do that huge climb in terrestrial Earth. Takes a little while to get this tall up into the sky. It's very, very difficult. Grim keeps having trouble with the double jumps. Getting it that time. Brilliant stuff. There we go.
Gonna get to see the rest of the game.
Beautiful stuff. But yeah, you can see Dagron is absolutely chowing through this game. Knows it like the back of his hand. I've never seen the back of his hand, but I'm sure he knows what that looks like.
Alright, so I'm about to do the climb myself.
Isn't that a Miley Cyrus song? Maybe.
Confirmed Santa Rom in ED-A-THON channel.
Nice.
Excellent.
Look at that incredible mashing from Dagron. First try of that huge climb. Great stuff.
My hands hurt just watching this.
Why would they?
I just keep
it's
hearing
just
the metronome.
300 beat per minute button tapping.
Alright, let's see if I can do the dance. This is the most recent thing I found. So this boss right here, my arch nemesis, the Dragonfly King.
This thing is ridiculous.
Oh, he's probably gonna hit me, yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Doing quite a lot of damage at this point in the game as well.
Yeah.
Really.
I kind of messed it up. But...
yeah. Huge amount of damage taken, but a huge amount of iframes on the bosses as well. Dagron triggering the invincibility just to give him a little bit more leeway and getting through that boss. Much better job there. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Cypherin on Dragonfly King as well.
It's a good backup. It is a good backup. But that does mean I have to do Elemental Air the really fun way. And, yeah. Hopefully I don't say any bad words when that time comes.
Well, you know us. We're all, very straight-laced here on Sega Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're entirely family-friendly.
Indeed. That's what makes this game so scary from a marathon perspective. I know that you've been trying to get this into so many different marathons over the last few years, Dag, but just the potion routing, you mess up one thing with the most optimal potion routing, and that will absolutely change the run and probably slow you down by a huge amount as well. So it's a really difficult thing, but when it's pulled off to perfection, it's a gorgeous run to watch. It really, really is, as you are showing right now. It's just a great run to watch.
Actually, one of my favorite moments of the run is coming up right here. This fight right here.
Look at just at the mastery rolling through. It's basically a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Nice. Beautiful fight.
Absolutely lovely. Trapping him in the corner. Choppy-son. Great stuff there. Ed, did you ever think that any of your games would be torn apart quite like Chakan, has been over the last few years?
No.
Although, of course, we do have the two of the Echo games coming up tomorrow from our delightful GrimShins in the top right just there. Those games are, lots of stuff not quite intended as well.
Hey, the game never crashes, so I'm going with it's all intended.
Okay, fair enough. What's the definition of a glitch in a video game after all, and not an exploit?
A feature, not a bug.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. From the developer themselves, they know it. Great work coming from Dagron, just sitting inside the iframes of that boss.
This game looks better than I remember. When does that happen?
It's a really visually interesting game, right? There's all the really clever use of the color palettes, just kind of emphasizing different shadows. It just looks really, really good. It has a bit of a bad rep by it seemingly being difficult. Wow, Dag, what the heck, Chief?
That was a hard one. See, that's the strat I was talking about that's really difficult to pull off without invincibility.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, those jumps that Dag just tried to do are incredibly difficult because not only do you have to get the timing right on those infinite double jumps, you've got everything under the sun trying to kill you at the same time. And if you touch those lasers, you fall all the way back down and they take a huge chunk off your health. The fact that Dag's just been loon enough to even try that, oh my gosh. Wow. Just perfect first try with these infinite double jumps to get up that. That's a pretty difficult climb when you're starting out, because again, you get hit by those lasers and boom, that's you getting knocked down. And with this section of the game, he's had to trigger the invincibility to get through some lasers that you can't really dodge. And if you do it just at the wrong time, or if you get hit, or if you struggle with the climb, and you get hit, then trying to get back up is an absolute nightmare. Such a nightmare. Ridiculous. You all three of you boys are absolutely ridiculous. The fact that you're even trying to speedrun this game. It hurts inside.
It's grown on me a lot, because
like a
when I
fungus.
first picked up this game, it was one of those things where I spent like 10 minutes on it, and I was like, oh, screw this. But
Yeah. As I said a bit earlier, as a casual game, it's really daunting because just how difficult, and yeah, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of aged in a very, I'm trying to think of the right word for it.
I think it was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, because you think about a lot of the mechanics in this game, they're not all that dissimilar from really popular stuff today, like the Dark Souls franchise.
No, that's a very fair point. Having that kind of non-linear progression system, right?
Well,
Great
yeah,
kill of that boss there from
difficulty,
Dagron.
too.
Really good.
All right, time for the big stage.
Here it comes. Oh my word.
These are some pretty scary jumps you're gonna see.
Oh my word. Seriously, elemental fire is... I'm sorry, Ed, right? I love most of your games, right? The ones that I don't love, I probably haven't played that much, so let's say about that. But what on earth were you doing when you were going through designing elemental fire? It's just... It's... I'm not normally stuck for words. Why?
I was I was obsessed with the idea of
Oh,
the amount of suffering.
Dagron right at the last jump!
Sorry, Ed. Go ahead. Dagron just took a dive. Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
I just wanted the player to feel the same suffering the character did.
Well,
I think you hit the mark 100%.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, I
an
say.
achievement there. But yeah, seriously, the slowdown of the frame rate making some of these jumps ridiculous.
Nice.
The enemies coming at you from
that was
all
beautiful.
angles, and all the lava being one-hit kills. It's just Elemental Fire 2 is actually much more, I was going to say tolerable, much more manageable, excuse me. Unless you do that.
Unless you
Okay,
fall
Dag.
in the lava, yes.
Yeah. But it's a much more manageable, but the first one's quite scary. The Elemental Fire 3 is, oh boy, it's something else. It really, really is. Aside from making a real good use of the grapple just there, getting up on terrestrial Earth. Yep.
I think Master Welch is suggesting that we do a Game Gear race next.
Yeah, that Game Gear game, you know, it is a good port. It is a very, very tough game as well. But
I haven't played that one yet.
the fire doesn't kill you automatically.
All right,
Which is
Elemental
good.
Fire 3, here we go.
Right. I'm sorry, Ed. This level,
I actually really like this level. I know it sounds
You're wrong.
crazy, but I kind of made the conversation. Cypherin actually prefers this stage to 1.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yes,
How?
because 1 is pretty buggy. As you saw, I died.
But this section is just with all the bats and the
Beautiful.
slow down. Oh my god! And the boss and the clipping through the platforms. Oh, look at him crawling across the wall like Spider-Man.
Awesome.
All right, if I take a hit here, I'm dead.
Oh my god!
Ooh,
Perfectly lining
Oh!
this boss up.
too close.
No.
Too close.
Oh,
I got to do it again.
Wow, yeah, that is such a... And GrimShins taking a bit of a breather before trying the almighty climb. You'll notice that there's a big difference in the speed of the infinite double jumps from GrimShin side versus Dagron again. Dagron's experience with this game, knowing... building up so much muscle memory and being able to obtain that infinite double jump at a much faster rate. The more you play, the more straightforward it gets, but good gracious, it's still a tough
I
strat
think
to
it's
do.
something like 32 of them chained together.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go.
I love that strat of crawling across the ceiling. It's just really pretty. Okay, so he's got to be really careful here again. Jump, duck down, smash in the face. Jump, duck down, smash in the face. Lovely stuff. GrimShin getting through the mini boss in the earth stages. Sorry, the air stages, excuse me. Getting very confused about what we got.
It's close.
Really good job from Dag. Couple more hits.
Okay, I got him. Wow.
Beautiful.
Very scary on hard difficulty.
Yeah, that boss is certainly no joke.
Yeah, even better to note that Dagron's running on hard difficulty.
Yeah, because Dagron is apparently a masochist. And here we go, into air. Not air.
Water.
Water, sorry. You can tell it's like nearly 2 o'clock in the morning here.
All right, elemental plane.
Oh, the beautiful jump there from Dagron with the roll and the jump at the end of it.
Yeah,
What's the
you fail
timing
that,
on
you
that?
die.
Yeah, the timing on that's so tough sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I fail it and then I die and then I'm very sad. Wow.
Smashing through the
Lots of
floor.
early there.
Like his name is El Nino.
Oh, so here's a nice little question. Were you aware that if you jump high enough, these enemies despawn into the water? Because if you double jump and up to the ceiling, you actually can despawn these enemies into the water. It's actually pretty. I don't know if that is just by complete accident, but it kind of does. It does somewhat trivialize the challenge here. These enemies camping these platforms.
Well, we gotta make sure they're dead if they're off screen.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
well, they're just taking a little swim in the icy cold water. You know, it's no big deal.
Oh shit! Oh no!
Okay. So I can still fall and die here, but you know that almost never happens.
If the game makes you make noises, then the difficulty is right.
Yes.
It certainly provokes an emotional response. And isn't that the purpose of art?
Yeah.
So now I gotta do this the fun way.
Oh, come on.
Okay, good. Oh. Okay, yeah. That was, bad spot for them to be at.
But everybody loves ice physics.
Physics are actually not bad here. Okay.
We thought we were so clever with the slippery ice. Let's put it in every game.
Every developer pretty much had their
And
fair
the
share.
lava level, the water level, the ice level, the lava level, and then the boring earth level.
We like the earth level, it's relaxing.
You won't get to see much of the earth level. It'll be done before you know it. Just why we leave it for last. You know, on top of the fact that, you know, they have a lot of potions in it, but not really a big need to actually grab them, because it's a bit of a detour. And you only save so much time going for the extra damage from the enchanted swords. It's worth it on this boss, because it takes a long time for him to be vulnerable. But those are usually the times you want to do enchanted swords. Also, for whatever reason, if you aim the projectile straight down while you're in midair, it actually causes a bit of an earthquake. Don't ask me why. I don't even know if it does anything. That might actually be a question for Ed. Is that supposed to do anything? Or is
I
it
don't know
just for
anything
show?
about that.
Oh, I can show you.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Okay, no, doesn't seem to want to do it now. Sometimes I shoot
This
it
is just
down
a
and the
visual
projectile.
jitter.
Yeah, it does. Like it causes the screen to shake.
Sounds like a question.
Okay, well, that boss is dead.
Some sick-looking monsters in this game.
I love the art style in this game. It's unbelievable.
Me as well.
Steve
Just
Ross.
always reminds me of the 90s.
Well, and of course, you have to think about this too when you're dealing with what 320 by 240, somewhere in that neighborhood for the actual amount of pixels you got.
Now
The whole
61 colors
game
on
is a
screen.
megabyte. 1 megabyte. The entire
This
game.
whole game is 1 megabyte. Wow. Man.
Nowadays,
Just
you
goes
got
to show
games
you.
that like that they had how much? I think when I downloaded Apex Legends, that was 77 gigs.
77 gigs is an update
more
for Call
than
of
that.
Duty these days.
There's so much space.
Well, it kind of reminds me too of the PC demo days where you had all the people competing for doing all these different visuals in 4K and 16K space. And nowadays they've got basically infinite capacity, and they're just going to use it.
I don't know, for some reason I always get the vibe of the movie Legend off of this game. Especially in like the backgrounds. If anyone remembers that weird
Tom Cruise? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tim Curry, yeah.
Yeah, Tim Curry played the devil guy.
The horns are just way too big.
Yeah,
It
that
just
was the
made
only
it look
downfall.
ridiculous.
This little boss here. I'm just gonna park myself right here. And do free damage.
So Dagron, you're doing the maneuver that I like to call directing traffic.
Also,
the air traffic
don't ask
controlling.
me what's going on here. Why Chakan's body is like all separated.
Yeah, that happens if you do Elemental Earth as your last level.
Evidently.
Doesn't seem to happen with any of the other stages as a last level. Oh, wow.
Ed, we just saw you in the
GG
credits.
tag.
Yeah, you hold up, you can go through these credits faster. And if you hold down, you can make them go real slow like this.
Just so you can take everything in.
Just take in
Read all the
anyone
names.
who did all of the hard work that went into this game. You know, Mark Lindstrom, Alex Fairchild.
And all these guys.
All the people who your work you broke it to try to get faster.
Oh, you got Sega of America Consumer Service. And you. Oh, and of course the guy who made the character Chakan.
So
Bacon.
that brings up a big question too. Would be I know that you kind of were bandying about the idea of a sequel for this. Is that something that you're still considering?
Yeah, I have a modern 3D version as an ongoing project. Eventually, it'll be something that I'll share.
Awesome.
Can I share an image anywhere?
Of course. Yeah, because on the Discord,
Just drag it into the chat area.
yeah.
Don't wait for me because it'll take me like 20 minutes.
No, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, I do.
That would be
Because, like,
amazing.
honestly, I want to remaster, reboot every single one of my games.
We're ready. We're ready for it.
You know what's frustrating about this game for me is that I know it's difficult, and some of the reason why it's difficult is because of the decisions, but also a lot of the reasons why it's difficult is because it's sloppy and not crafted well enough to be, the difficulty was designed that way as opposed to I just let it be difficult. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to make the world's most difficult game, but not where you would yell, "This is bullshit," when you die. when you die, you'd know you just haven't mastered it yet, and those are two different kinds of feelings. And so I would
I think this game
Respect
leans
that a lot.
towards the kind of difficulty where I do know why I die. Sometimes it's because the game lags enough to drop my inputs, but that's okay. It happens. It's not like it was the only game that had that sort of thing. I know of quite a few games where dropped inputs are a thing.
Yeah, well, all bets are off with the double jump glitch. Or the,
Exploit,
it's like
yeah, we'll call it a glitch.
It works both ways, I guess, when things are sloppily implemented.
Well, the infinite double jump works on the same principle as the mid-air roll jump, which was intentional enough to be included in one of the demos. Like, if you just don't press any buttons on the title screen, let the attract mode play out, it does make use of that.
Yeah.
But, the animation cancel itself, I think, is probably a little too precise to be considered intentional.
Well, considering it's at 300 BPMs that you guys have to do that in order to pull it off.
Hey,
Literally,
you managed to get it with the metronome.
Yeah, but that metronome was also like...
Yeah, only because that's how fast you gotta press the buttons.
That is not intended. It's funny.
So, I think I'm gonna have to ask the question, since we're on this screen here, that there's nothing more to the ending for the most part, but
I know this question.
We need to take in into the observation here. The hourglass is not centered in this screen.
Oh my god.
Bullshit.
If you do wait like 15 minutes, eventually a message is going to pop up saying not the end. As far as I know...
Just leave it up, because we're not 15 minutes away from finishing this race, I can tell you that.
You can just leave that going.
Right.
Oh yeah, you'll see it eventually. You'll see it eventually on my screen, but...
Hey, and don't worry about the Mr. Bones playthrough. That was more or less just an hour filler. So if you guys keep going through, don't worry about the time. Take your time. Just finish the game.
Oh, we're definitely gonna go hard on Mr. Bones. That game is awesome. Oh shit.
This seems to be a consistent thing when it comes to this game. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing this thing, and then oh crap, oh they're doing this, and then oh do it. Yeah. Everything is always punctuated with some sort of expletive or stifled expletive.
So why is that hourglass not centered?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I know why. Because when you play a game on a TV, it's NTSC. So it all blurs to the right.
Oh. So it's to do with the
So if it was on a CRT,
that's total bullshit. I just made that up.
Well,
what I think it might have been is if the hourglass art was drawn at the Genesis 256 pixel wide mode, but the entire game is rendered at the 320 pixel wide mode, that would have meant 32 columns versus 40 columns, and if they didn't account for that, if it's just drawing the rightmost 32 columns, whatever, that could account for the shift offset.
Offset?
Different video mode, you're saying?
Yeah.
Resolution? No, it's the same. I don't know why. How did I not notice that? It's so easy to see. Sorry, I'm not even watching the game. I'm staring at the... Sorry, guys.
Dag.
It had to be pointed out. Like it was just interesting. Like why it wasn't centered, and
it's been plaguing Dag for years.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really plaguing me until Grim had to point it out.
I'm sorry,
yeah,
man.
geez,
Okay.
Grim.
Do you know how long it took me to get to that hourglass? Like, I was gonna let it play out for the 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do, and when you beat the game, you have to see if it what happens at the end, because there's always got to be something at the end of the screen.
It's another level at the end.
Yeah.
It's a new level. Yes, exactly.
No, it's
I mean,
it's,
you waited for something after the credits, and you were awarded with a final boss.
no, it's like Pyramid Run. It's just going to restart with a higher difficulty.
God, could you imagine everything killing you in one hit in this game? That would have been. Ooh, that would have been something for difficulty in this game. Like I've done a lot of work routing out on hard difficulty, and it certainly is hard in quite a few points, as you clearly saw, dying quite a few spots there. But
well, and I mean that you look at some of the other games too from the different platforms, like for instance ActRaiser 2, right? That one's also has a lot of similar feel to it as far as just the way the gameplay is. But then you think about ActRaiser 2 with their password system, and you can do like all sorts of crazy difficulties where it's like, you know,
yeah, like the 102 difficulty.
Yeah, the 102 difficulties,
where some of the enemies will kill you in one hit.
Yeah.
That's brutal to even think of. That game is already hard enough as it is.
Yeah, that one is definitely not a feature and is a glitch.
Cypherin now doing the infamous level himself.
So, you know, again, with this, I think we're kind of combining the Q&A with the race, which I think is fantastic. I do have a question though, Ed. What do you think about today's technology and sort of, you know, with today's games that, you know, does it feel like they're kind of, you know, using a crutch to get away from some of the good game design, or, you know, because obviously you said this game was 1 meg. And now you've got unlimited CPU and unlimited memory and unlimited capacity. Pretty much, you know, whatever you want to do, you can do. I mean, what's kind of your thought on that?
Well, yeah, it's annoying to me that, you know, the computers that developers get to use today are 10,000 times faster. You have way more memory. You have tools like you wouldn't believe. And then when I want to play Red Dead Redemption, even on Stadia, I got to wait 10 minutes before all the logos and all the loading goes by. And then it's like these old 16-bit games, when you hit reset, it would just make a little click sound, and then the game was running right then. And so I hate that we have to wait for everything. That's my big complaint about like modern games. It's just too much. But I love all games. I'm not a game snob. Even the shitty free-to-play games that are trying to pick your pockets, I love them all. I see great things in all games.
Yeah, I mean, well, even the
so
free.
I love all modern games.
Yeah, even the free-to-play games. There's a reason why they're designed the way they are. They're addictive to play. And if they weren't addictive to play, they wouldn't work as a freemium model.
Yeah.
So
compulsion. It's a compulsion. That's like a good thing sometimes.
That's right. Depending on if it turns into a gambling situation in some of those. But no, I really appreciate that. And again, it's definitely something where, you know, we all kind of go back to the retro gaming because, you know, again, we've all got modern consoles. We've got the retro consoles, but there's just something that just kind of always pulls me back to the retro, right? Something always pulls me back to kind of feeling like it's a more of a pure gaming experience.
I think a big part of it is that the actual user interface was the game, and now more modern games, you have a user interface like a mouse or a controller in the world that you could use to play the game. But back in the day, when, you know, 8-bit games, like the whole thing was just the game. So it's a different sensibility these days.
Yeah.
I think that's a big difference.
No, that's pretty insightful to put it out that way. Because again, for me, I laugh about it because I've got a whole bunch of the modern / newer consoles out there, newer games that are all sitting wrapped in plastic on the shelf. Because sometimes when I go, hey, I just want to blow off some steam, burn a couple of hours, what do I want to play? I'm going to go play some, you know, Castlevania Bloodlines on the Genesis, right? It's not that I want to, invest in something where you start a new game and you're like, okay, I'm going to go through the 3-hour intro, which is going to teach me how to use all the controls that I need to know to do all these different mechanics. Because that was the other one too. You mentioned Red Dead Redemption. When I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and start with that, it's like, okay, here's all the 75 mechanics you're going to have to remember, and I hope you don't forget this particular one when you get to the mission that you're going to need to lasso the guy.
I know.
The very first thing my friend did when he played Red Dead Redemption 2?
What's that?
Killed his horse.
No, drew a penis in the snow.
Oh. You could do that?
Yeah, just because your footprints stick in the snow. So first thing you did was just immediately walk around. See, that's a good use of the unlimited power of modern consoles.
Well, with great power comes great responsibility.
But one thing, Ed, that I do appreciate that you mentioned was just liking games, even, the quote-unquote bad ones. I think that's a good way of looking at it, because even making a bad game is combining, several of the most difficult disciplines that you can have, between just the visual art, the sound design, the programming, and all of these things have to work together in unison. And just the amount of effort that even goes into something that ends up not being well received at all is immense. And I do think it's important to recognize that.
And it also comes down to perception, I think, too, because what may not be well received by many is actually well received by few. Like when we were playing More at the Chicken, and he said that it got worst.
Oh
game
yeah,
E3
worst game E3 2000.
But I found it fun.
I was laughing my ass off.
That was.
Yeah, so it's I guess it's all in that eye of the beholder situation, and I think that's why it's important that, like he said, you gotta have an appreciation for all games. Just the fact that we even live in an existence where this kind of medium is very prevalent and very, how should I put this, universal almost. It's a very universal language, almost like food and music and things like that.
Yeah, so. even the before it was all the nerdy kids are playing the video games, and now it's even the youngest kids. They're getting a cell phone at early age, and they're playing apps and games right off the bat. So I think there's definitely something to be said about the fact that before it was something where people were maybe being more selective, where they get drawn into this universe of gaming, and nowadays it's more universal across everybody.
Yep. Well, my goal is to make as many games as I can before I die.
Well, you keep making them, we'll keep buying them. I mean, that's kind of how it works.
Does anybody here have Space War Arena on the Nintendo Switch? Just one of you guys?
Actually, after I saw you putting it onto there, I do have it in my cart. I gotta buy it because I don't power on my Switch except for if I'm traveling. Again, just goes to show you my not aversion to modern, but I definitely plan on picking that up. So
it definitely has a retro feel to it. I mean, it's the sequel of the very first video game that ever existed, which was called Space War.
Space War on the PDP 1,
PDP 11, or PDP 1, yeah. Right?
Yeah. So
I don't have a Switch, so.
The message it finally appeared.
I'll tell you one thing. This should come as no surprise, but I am extremely excited for what you've been working on with. Is it Dolphin Quest right now?
Yeah, I am too. What I love about that game is it feels the way I imagined Echo would feel, in my mind, but on screen there's limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with having the bone, all the bones of the spine of the dolphin. You basically control the dolphin like it's a snake. So one side of the controller is the head, the other side is the tail, and it just controls perfectly. In my
oh man, I can't wait.
I don't know if it'll ever come out.
It does go to show you again that's where you get kind of amazed, where you play those games that you say that are just absolutely iconic, or the games that just they feel right and they just work, and you look at all of the, I won't say limitations, but maybe even just the compromises that were made based on the platforms.
There we go, another offset hourglass.
All right.
GG.
GG. All right, I'll flip audio to GrimShins. Or not GrimShins, it's to Cypherin.
I'm going to BRB.
All right.
Oh, well, that's a load off my shoulders, because, my worst fear going into any marathon event is like, oh man, what if I just, completely shit the bed and can't finish?
Yeah, we got a question from chat. Bacon Omelet asked, Ed, what do you think of the Miko system?
I love it with all my heart.
Yeah, because Bacon says, I'm curious how that system will turn out.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. We'll see. I mean, it's weird and it has very interesting features. I mean, programmable LEDs on the console and the controllers. Like, who does that? So that's pretty weird. And then, a dial instead of an analog stick. Who does that?
Yeah, I think when things
if it's different, it deserves to exist. That's what I say.
That's actually something that has me kind of excited about it, because you look at modern consoles, like the modern PlayStations and Xboxes, they're just x86 computers. Fundamentally, there's no difference between the hardware. They're both just running AMD systems on a chip, and, it's kind of boring. Switch is doing something a little different, but at the same time, it's basically just a mobile phone system on a chip. There's no... I liked the era where there were vast differences in hardware between competing platforms. So if you had the same game on multiple platforms, it would be like a pretty wildly different version of that game, instead of like the exact same game with a couple of different graphic tweaks. So from that standpoint, like, just having the guts to do something different on the hardware approach, I think, is pretty exciting.
I don't know. I think those guys have a lot of good ideas, or not. A lot of original ideas all put together. Even just the way they want to deliver the games, and how you purchase them in retail, and all exclusive, family friendly. A lot of good love there. So I'm hoping. I hope they get it out and they do it.
So,
as you're getting killed by monsters in Chakan.
The one silly question that was asked through the chat as well earlier was, somebody said, is there anybody at Sega America who really rubbed you the wrong way?
I liked everybody. Me and Latham had a little, nemesis, a frenemy thing going. Mm-hmm. But we're pals. Break bread together frequently.
All right. So, beyond anything else you saw in the schedule, I mean, obviously you mentioned Tiny Tank as well. Is there anything else that you wish that we would have put on the schedule?
Ace War Arena would have been nice, but we could do it 2023.
We'll do that 2023. That's a promise.
Yay. And maybe one of these games that I've been talking about.
That would be
amazing.
Out this year. That would be amazing.
Did I miss any other questions in the chat? Because I keep watching things.
I think we're caught up on any questions in the chat, unless... Hey, chat, you got any questions?
Any questions? Any answers?
You can ask
On
about
two.
I like Bacon with Chakan 2 next marathon.
Let's see if I can think of a question. You've already answered how you keep in contact with the Echo team. Did they ever think about making a new Echo game?
What do you mean?
You still you still keep in contact with the Echo.
Well,
team.
we're working on we are working on a dolphin.
A dolphin game.
A game, yeah.
We could call that the spiritual successor of it, then.
Call whatever you want. It's dolphins.
The dolphin game, yes.
Yes.
Oh, Esta, you beat me to it. I was going to ask this too, and I mean, again, everybody else kind of looks at some of the inspirations as to the reason why you do something. I mean, obviously, you know, people will either get into programming for a particular reason, or they're just good at it, and then they turn it into something with game development. So, what was the reason why you got into game development in particular? Did you learn to program because you wanted to get into game development, or was it the other way around?
You know, I just wanted to make a little man walk across the screen. And then, so when I tried it, it was on a TRS-80 or something. Yeah, I think it was TRS-80. And it was basic programming. So I drew the man, and as he went across the screen, he wasn't walking. He was just like swimming. The drawing was so slow. So, and I wondered how video games work. And then I read the machine language was what was used to program video games. So I loved the idea of this. Just the words machine language captivated me. So that was 6502, and I got my head around that. Started making games.
Yeah, I mean, well, the 6502 it was pretty versatile because there were a lot of people who were using that same chip platform, not unlike, you know, again with the x86 or some of the other platforms, because you say, you know, either it's
like
the
Apple II was
Yep.
6502, and then there was a whole bunch of, like, you know, cousins of it, like 65816.
Yep.
All those. But only three registers. You have to move your own memory.
I remember doing
modifying code was the only way to go. That.
See, I just remember Commodore 64 doing peeks and pokes.
Yeah, that was 6502 as well.
Yep.
Peeks and pokes. Those are the days.
That's right. Well, and yeah, because you'd go and get a Compute magazine, and then you'd see somebody like, check out this cool game, and it was like, you know, 10 pages of printed code, and it's just like, all right, go ahead and enter it in. Have fun.
And it never worked.
Exactly. It would always fail for whatever reason. And then you go back and your debugging is basically stare and compare. You do your list on it, and you're just like, okay, what did I type in wrong?
I just want to play this game.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, again, it's pretty amazing that you go from the various technologies. In some cases, again, gaming and that sort of development was driving the compute technology, and in other ways, compute technology was driving the advancement of gaming. So it kind of, those two dovetailed into each other for quite some time. And yeah, it's again, I started my first computing experience myself was on a was it a VIC-20? I say a VIC-20.
That was 6502 machine.
Yep. Yeah, VIC-20, and then got the C64, and for some reason my dad got an Odyssey 2, Magnavox Odyssey 2, but we had one in the house.
Nice.
So that was, again, it's the strangest thing when you're typing on a keyboard, and it's like you're using a that I don't think they called it the chiclet keyboard, but it was the one that's basically flat. And it's almost like you were entering in numbers onto a cash register of the old days. But yeah, it's, you know, again, it's so nice, and again, I know that as a community, we do absolutely appreciate the fact that you are so active within the gaming space, and that you appreciate the fact, you know, there's a mutual appreciation for the art and for the games that you've created and the games that you will continue to create. And again, I can't say thank you enough to you for your participation on this, and you know, again, please stay into chat and you know, pop in and out as you will.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for having an ED-A-THON.
No, it was so great because, again, all it took was that one tweet between you and Jimmy Diamonds, and we're like, okay, we're doing this.
This has been just a phenomenal experience so far.
Cool. Well, thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Well, Ed, feel free if you want to drop out of the voice chat. We are gonna go ahead and we got to get on the schedule here, and we're gonna.
Was Master Welch's question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, with
Yeah, we got one.
Would be
Robert Kraus, and yes,
yeah,
of
Robert
course.
Kraus.
Robert is like just imagine the nicest person you know in the world. And then have that person in your mind mispronounce the word Chakan. That's Robert Kraus. He's like the nicest guy in the world. And he was a pleasure to work with. Very synergistic. Yeah, I mean, like the first moment I met him, I was like, hey, what do you think about taking this character of yours and making a video game? And like from that moment on, he was nothing but encouraging and supportive. Of course, next game, definitely. There is one shot in the concept art of the newer game that shows Chakan really goth, but slightly feminized. Like it looks like he's wearing like stockings, but on his arms, like these see-through gloves. Very sexy. Robert did not like that. That was the only pushback I ever got from him, and it was on concept art that hasn't been implemented yet.
That's a little You hit it right there, Xantamon. I was going to say goth. We're doing goth and emo, Chakan.
Yeah, it's definitely a little emo.
He has.
Well, he's been alive for thousands of years.
I think he's earned the right. He gets this like crow mode going, where it's like mascara's always coming down on his cheeks, and then 100 years later, he's like wearing armor and has cyborg stuff going on.
Well, you just got to grow with the times. Yeah, you got to grow with the times.
Can't be medieval times forever,
And
he's got to look the times,
Yeah.
I do have one question that's just kind of curious to me. A lot of your games feature non-human protagonists, and not only non-human, but like even non-anthropomorphic protagonists. I mean, between Echo and Calibri are like the big ones there. But I was just wondering, is there anything in particular that drew you to create those kinds of games?
Well, yeah, I grew up with horses, and I really got into the sea mammal thing when I was young, and just getting into programming and making games. So I was like, oh, how could I make a game out of sea mammals? And then, what's the sea mammal that moves the best? To match video game style movement. Dolphins, obvious choice. And once I had that thought, thinking about it, working on it, eventually it happened. But your question was why the non-human? I just think that we're not the only sentient beings on the planet, and having a story, especially a heroic, hero's journey type of story, which is very human, applied to another species and seeing the world from their point of view, I think is really interesting. I mean, we have enough, toe-tapping humans dressed up as animals or aliens, but really humans. We got a lot of that. We don't need any more of it. So I like just be the dolphin or the hummingbird. or the amoeba or whatever. Cool would be something else, no?
Yeah. No, I mean, I always appreciate it. I mean, for me, growing up, Echo was huge because my older sister, was really into marine biology, and I was really into video games, and both of them were combined in this way. So,
Found a way to get along with your sister.
Yes.
Echo the Dolphin. Cool. Okay, guys,
Awesome.
Thank you so much for racing with Chakan, and let me join the ED-A-THON and inventing the ED-A-THON. That's it. Thank you for inventing the ED-A-THON.
Ed, anytime you want to participate with anything on the Sega crew, you are very, very welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for coming. And
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so
last
much.
thing, GG again, Cypherin. Sorry I didn't congratulate
No,
you on
you don't have to. I was captivated by the conversation as well. Again, yeah, thank you, Ed. If I could just add just one small thing, I know you're trying to go. Just just from a perspective, childhood perspective, your games definitely helped in more ways than you probably will ever know. Just thank you for all that you've done.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good night and see you later. And I'm probably just gonna walk away, so you'll hear the ambience of my home. ED-A-THON, just ignore it.
I was gonna say I can bounce you out of here. It's no problem. So that way we can.
Boot me out.
All right.
Before I say the F-bomb, hurry up! I'm gonna say the F-bomb. Hurry! Hurry!
All right, we're kicking you out.
All right. Well, what's
GG,
next?
everyone. That I'm glad. That's probably the first time in history that 3 people have raced Chakan and everybody finished.
Yeah, I mean, you can't stress enough. It's not an easy game. Like I mean, I know I make it look easy. It's not. It's really not. It took a lot to actually get to that level of consistency for me.
So, any ladies out there interested, Dagron is single.
He is single, and he will teach you Chakan, the Forever Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I
need to swap games.
All right.
Derailed.
All right. We gotta. I'm having an absolute blast. I'm looking at the schedule here, so we're going into Faust's Mr. Bones time right now, and then we've got a Cyborg Justice race here coming up in a bit. So let's go ahead. I don't know if we want to do a little shift here. I don't know if Faust, would you be ready to go ahead and pop over that way, or do you need a couple of moments, or are we good?
No, the game's loaded up. I'm already streaming to the server. I'm good
Okay,
to
let me
go, man.
Okay, cool. Well, you should already be on the 4-3 single, so that should be really easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and flip that over for your particular stream, because you're not going to have anybody doing commentary, correct?
I mean, y'all can still chill in here if you want. I'm down with that.
Oh,
I'll stick around. I don't know the game that much, but I'll stick around.
okay.
Neither
So,
do I.
Yeah.
so okay. All right. So
Hell yeah,
we'll
let's keep the party going.
All right, we'll flip it over that direction and stand by. Give it just a moment. All right, everybody. And again, before we jump over to this, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, everybody, for putting all the effort into this, for coming in, contributing your talents to this event, and I just, again, makes me so proud of this group. So let's as I said, let's go get some bones. It's bone time. So here we go.